Oh, hello, folks. Welcome back. Benching and Bullshitting episode 63 is upon us. We were a little bit running behind today just because we were out of state again, if you can believe that. Not too far this time. We were in West Virginia, but we had to drive back, and that caused a little bit of a delay, but we were able to hop on anyway, just 8 minutes late. So, getting into the episode, I always like to start off with just talking about the week and talking about training. Training always seems to go pretty good when you have a competition in mind, does it not? I'm also not in my back corner just for time's sake, and there's a bunch of stuff back there, so I wanted to get on here and quickly and get to the subject matter. So we're going to do it here at the desk. Anyway, but so benching anyway. This is what it's called, benching and bullshitting. But Saturday is always our big day. Now, this weekend was really cool because we had 4 guests come in. I had 2 guests from Philly, from Death Wish Barbell. I know them from Death Wish Barbell, but they travel around to other gyms in the area, Jules and Mara, and they are a very, very, very nice couple. I've known them, and I've not interacted with them in person a lot, but I've known them for a long time. And real sweet. I've been coaching Mara on her bench for about, I think we're about 8 weeks deep out of the 20. How does it work? Out of the 24 workouts out of the 12 weeks, I think we're about 7 or 8 weeks deep. So, but they came, and then I had 2 guests from New Hampshire. I know Ed was the one I was talking to. I forgive me for the other gentleman that I was there. I can't remember. I'm really good with faces, not names. I like to say that all the time because that's true. But they flew in. So we had 2 people fly in, and then 2 people drove in. So we had 4 guests this weekend, and it was pretty awesome. And then both Jules and Mara are very, very, very proficient squatters. I'm not sure of the other 2. I think they do full power, but they had to get back. They had to catch a plane on Sunday that they weren't able to squat with us. But I was able to squat with Jules and Mara and learn some tips and tricks. It was pretty cool. But benching, how'd it go? So I'm still stuck on this idea, or I'm stuck on this thing where I want to do volume for some reason. Now, Katie was out of state, which is why we were in West Virginia. It was our halfway meeting point. She was in Ohio for a week, so I went up and grabbed her from her sister. We met halfway, and then I came home. So she was out for a week, and I had no one to say, hey, maybe don't do that, or, maybe that idea is not good. Do this instead, because I'm that way sometimes. But so I wanted to do volume. Everything moved swell, so I jumped directly into what I call the Black Beauty, the Black Pharrell, my original one, my 3-year-old one, actually, which is pretty amazing. They can last that long and do so well. So it's a really good investment. But anyhow, went to, let's see, top set. I did a tester set. I did 1,003 for a triple to a 2 board. Big deal. But I went to 1,155 as a tester. I wanted to go to 1,300 and do volume with it. But I haven't handled 1,300 pounds but twice since July. So maybe that's not the best idea. So instead, I went to a low 1,200 load. It was 1,221. Hit it for 6, which, is that a PR off of one board? No. But my best off of one board in terms of reps is actually 1,320 for 5. So no, 1,221 for 6 is not really a PR, but it was still really, 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 really heavy workload. And I got very, very worked and dropped down to 1,050 because my hands, man, were just killing me after that set. They were just absolutely killing me. But I dropped down. I skipped 2 rotations, just help these guys bench, coach them a little bit, doing all handoffs and such. And then I went down to 1,045 or 1,050 and hit 5 reps full range, which I've done before. This was I think I called it a gear deficient PR because I did that with less equipment than I normally would. So it was still, I got a lot out of the workout. So what we got over here in the group chat, James says, hi, Jimmy, hope all is well. we'll see you at the Arnold Classic. XPC World is on my list of meets this year. Fantastic. Looking forward to meeting you. Either in the Anderson booth, I'll be walking around I hope to be walking around. Apparently it's supposed to be the busiest year they've ever had. They're going to break their attendance record. You can never actually know. They're just predicting the Arnold will break its attendance record. Yeah. So hopefully I'll be able to walk around. If not, I'll be in the Anderson booth, or I'll be up on the stages Saturday from 11 to 1 and Sunday from 11 to 4 doing the 2 bench meets. And we got Mark and Alex. Also, thanks for joining me here tonight. Before I go any further, I'll just talk real quick. I have a referral link now. If you go to my Instagram, you can go to my link tree, and you can go to the Element tab. I have a referral code to get some Element packets, which I always drink every single day. I am not sponsored by these guys at all, but I believe in what they do, what they stand for, and I drink probably on average 2 or 3 packets a day, which is 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams. I tend to recommend, if you're a strength athlete, if you live a sedentary lifestyle, I don't really recommend tons and tons of salt like that, because that could be detrimental. But if you're an active athlete, salt is one of the most important substances you need to put in your body. So if you want to go do that, go look at Instagram, go to the link tree. Again, Kolbstrong on Instagram. You can go to the link tree, find the referral code, get yourself some Element. If you're a first-time buyer, you get a free sample pack. That also helps me out, too. I get a little bit of Element from that. Not money, but Element packets. So you are directly supporting myself when it comes to the next big number. So I really appreciate that. We got Thomas on here. He says, if you look at what equipped and untested powerlifting has done in the last year or two, and some people with high prestige also being at the Arnold this year, I am not surprised. Yeah, it's just because we've been to the Arnold, since after my little break in the military. Our first Arnold back was 19, and it was fairly busy, I think. We were tucked away on the back wall, so there was less traffic back there. 20 was 20, so that was whatever. 21, there was no Arnold. 22, it came back, and it was not the same, not by a stretch. Last year, though, it got busy. It got very busy. It was reminiscent of what it used to be back in like 2010, 11. Even though people were saying it wasn't, I'm like, you gotta be fucking shitting me. And we as Anderson, we had our best year at the Arnold ever. Actually, we broke our single days sale record that Ken had set 15 years prior. We broke that on the first day as a company. So we had a blast last year. We had a good time. Really, really good Arnold. And Tony's on here. What's up, Tony? Good evening. How you doing? Thanks for joining me tonight. So benching was good. I'm really happy with it. This weekend, it's going to be thrown off a little bit, maybe for the better, because if you're on Patreon or YouTube members, I was alluding to the fact that I need a light week. I need a week to just kind of mosey, starting tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. My back work, I need to take a step back for just one Tuesday, because I've been slaying with heavy weight on Tuesdays, and my traps will be sore and stiff until like Saturday, Sunday, because I'm just going balls. And after we did straight bar squats on Amber's on here too. Hope you're happy to hear that, Amber. I did straight bar for the first time in 3 months, I think. She says, heck yeah, Arnold is a blasty. It's a blasty, especially when you're there. We can all hang out, man. But my elbows, my wrists, my everything was just like achy sore, not a muscular sore, just like really achy, bad sore. She says, straight bar. Yeah, it was a blast. The weights felt great and light and like not a big deal, but like, man, that straight bar just cooked all my joints. So like, I'm really sore in not good ways. Plus we have a we have a meet being hosted in our gym on Saturday, WRPF meet by Papa Bear Rogers. So that's going to throw off our entire Saturday. We're going to come in at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon instead of 10 o'clock in the morning. So that'd be a good day to kind of back off a little bit, to kind of dial it back and do something different. So, and then Sunday, I probably won't squat heavy at all. I might just deadlift or some shit like that, which I can't believe those words just came out of my mouth. But but anyhow, so it's going to be a light week. If anybody's, like I said, I got lots of people on here that are in Patreon, YouTube members, and it's going to be a light week, just so you know. I'm due for one. Let's see. Uncle Mark says, hey, Jimmy, what do you think is the best bench shirt for a normal grip? I'm 15, 275 raw. Just want a lot of weight. It depends on what you want to get into. Let's see. He says, I also have a budget and my bench rack isn't spread too far out for wide grip. That's the reason. So if you're going, well, I'm assuming what you mean by normal grip is probably like kind of like a medium grip. Just depends, man. There's lots of options. Depends too if you're trying to bench solo or if you got a crew, if you're at a gym or something like that. But I mean, if you want to get something that the easiest one that comes to mind right away for what you're talking about is like a single ply F8, which you can get at Anderson Powerlifting. Single ply F8. I'll even just put it right here just so I don't forget. Single ply F8. Did I spell single right? I did. Single ply F8. That's going to be for how long they last on a budget conscious mind. That's going to be the one to go to. It's easy to learn, easy to use, and they can last a very long time. And you can have the adjustability of, you could go super wide, you could go narrow. I've gone reverse grip with mine. So, and if you use my code Kolbstrong, KOLBSTORONG, one word, at AndersonPowerlifting.com, you get 10% off. That'll save you about a $200 shirt. That might save you what, $20, $25. So, yeah. There you go. A link in the comments is what Katie will put in there for you, because that's the one. If you wanted to go the poly route, I don't know what your experience level is. Poly, yeah, I don't know. You could go with a Fury or an F6. There's that link for you. So thank you, Katie, for that. But if you want to go something really simple that's effective, you can learn very quick, I would go with the F8. And just make sure, again, oh, damn it, I got to type on the spot. Let's see if I can do it here. Good. Yeah, I'm doing it. I got it. There you go. So that's a discount code, just one word, Kolbstrong at AndersonPowerlifting.com. It saves you 10%. I am way behind in the chat. Let me move back up here. All right, we took care of Uncle Mark. Let's see. Tony says, bench sucked this week, e.g. today. I'm sorry. My shoulders needed a break, adjust, and move on. Yeah, I mean, I am human as well, and I need to back off and just take it easy for a week. When I hit my back day last Tuesday, this last week was very, very weird for me because Katie was out of state for an entire week, and I was here at the apartment by myself. And it was just odd. It was just strange for me. I've not spent that much time alone since like MCT and Marines. So, Camp Geiger, so it's been a while. It's been like 6-7 years. I went in Tuesday and I hit really heavy weights. I mean, I slayed, but it was like Chris wasn't there, threw me off, and just Katie being gone. It was odd. And I knew the next Tuesday, so tomorrow I was going to be like, I'm going light. I think Chris is actually off tomorrow from the gym, but I'm like, Chris, I'm going light. I'm doing a bodybuilding pump day. I am not going heavy. I need to just back off and change it up for a week. Change it up. Do lightweight, do pump work, 5 sets of 10, 12, 15 for every movement, so I'm just going to take it easy. Whew, man. But Wednesdays have been light anyway because it's more of a bodybuilding. I'm trying to build the pecs a little bit more, which you can't see because I don't have a chest. But I'm trying to build one. So Wednesdays are 5. They're usually pretty light. Thursdays are just forearm grip work. That's light. Saturday will be a lighter day. Probably the slinger work, low volume slinger work in the afternoon. And then Sunday, I won't be doing anything crazy. Let's see. Nate says, were you always super wide, or is it mostly from training? I've always been wide because I've been almost always equipped for the last 15, almost 16 years. So you go as wide as you possibly can normally when you're in equipment. So I've always been wide. Yep. Yeah, Hawk says, get a band from F8. We also sell the F8 Widowmaker bands at AndersonPowerFin.com. Single loop and double loop. Let's see. Okay. James says, have you ever tried the stem wave shockwave device for your tendon soreness? Keith Adele told me about it, and it works great. I bought one for my use, $300 to $400, elbows, and well, I don't know. We're not tried that, and I don't. Yeah, I've got a TENS unit. I don't know if that's the same thing. I don't know what a stem wave shockwave device for your tendon soreness, but that sounds expensive. I'm not wouldn't be able to do something like that, but I don't know. Let's see. 1 second here. Oh. All right, here we go. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get my mouse. There we go. Tony says, I'm 53 on Sunday and shit doesn't recover the same. Gotcha. I'm 33 and I need a week. Alex, working 9 to 5. If super early morning or late night are my only training options, which would you prefer? I would always do late night. Depends on what you're trying to do. A lot of the bodybuilders want to train early in the mornings because of the way they're so what I understand is our hormones shift from day to night. They shift. Where in the mornings, bodybuilders want to train in the mornings because it's better for building muscle, getting bigger. Whereas the shift in your hormones is different at night, where it's better for strength gain. So it depends on what you want to do. If you're trying to just bodybuild, I think mornings are probably better. And then evenings would be for like strength. So I would always train at night if you're going for strength. Although most of my training is in the mornings, but it is what it is. One more thing. How much weight do you think would the single ply F8 shirt put on my bench within 3 months? Experience. I'll definitely look into tips and tricks. There's no telling. That's completely individual based. How you are built, how you bench, your limb length, your experience level. There's absolutely no way to tell. You just have to try it and make sure you're benching in a safe environment. When you're benching equipped, have spotters, have body savers. Don't bench alone. Don't bench without some kind of safe spotting system in place. So please be safe when you do it. Kelly says, how often is too often to train in a shirt? I'd say more than once a week. So once a week is fine. Twice a week is too much. Now, Scott Mendelson trains twice a week in his shirts, but I think that's too much, especially if you're trying to stay drug-free. Ryan Canelli is on here. He says, hello, Jimmy. You are a true hero and champion. Giving back very valuable information to viewers is awesome. Love you, brother. I don't get to talk to you often enough. Love you too, man. Hope to see you in about 3 or 4 weeks. Yep. I'm going to see you and Ashley at the Arnold. It's going to be fun. Hope to hang out again. It's going to be busy, man. It's going to be real busy. So thanks for hopping on here, Ryan, Mr. Bench Monster himself. Thank you so much. Love seeing your name on here. Let's see. I hope you do 3 lift again soon and break the world record. I think you could do it. It's on my mind. I'm training for it. I'm training for full power. A lot of people don't know that, but I just said it. So, but if you want to watch what I do to train for that, obviously I always like to advertise for Patreon and YouTube members. It's $10 a month. If you go to Patreon and look up Kolbstrong, Kolbstrong, you can watch my training for $10 a month. 5 days a week, full commentary. The first set of every movement, every rep, every set, every exercise I do that leads me to these big benches and eventually to the full power arena. So if you want to check that out, that'd be great. If you don't want to go on Patreon, YouTube members has the same thing, $10 a month. You can watch all my behind the scenes training on there. James says it uses sound waves to increase blood flow. Interesting. And release IGF-1 into the affected area. Oh, it's not electric stimulation like TENS. I mean, I'm willing to try anything. If it gets me, a 0.5%, I mean, I would absolutely try it, but I just don't have that kind of a budget.
We will talk to Jericho. Because he's just opened his new facility with a bunch of stuff.
He did?
Mm-hmm. He announced the new address today.
Oh, man, we got to go see it.
Mm-hmm. It's cool.
Dr. Jericho, my friend in Fredericksburg, my man who keeps my body in check and put together, just opened up a pretty much what I would call an athlete recovery center, a recovery center down in Fredericksburg where it's meant purely for getting people to help them recover. And he might have something like that. I don't know. He just announced the address today, I guess. Yeah. Excellent. I didn't know. I wonder where he was sitting in that video.
Yeah.
What that was.
The new spot.
Right.
So we'll have to go down.
Oh, excellent. That's going to be fun. Thomas says, speaking of size / recovery and muscle gain, there is new research that came out that shows high amounts of protein in one sitting are much more beneficial than over multiple smaller meals for same protein. Oh.
See, and like all the research before was like, oh, you can't have more than 40 grams in one sitting.
Yeah, that's the rule I've always.
But like as science changes and they learn more, it changes. We'll have to look into that.
Excellent.
How much protein do you think you get in one sitting?
Oh, salty. One of my.
For the people on the podcast listening and not seeing, he just drank Element. Oh. So
I wasn't ready for it. I drink it every day. I must
just have Tourette's.
Sorry about that. What was the question?
How much protein do you think you get in one sitting?
One of my shakes, I generally try to make around 60 grams, and I drink 2 to 3. I'm trying to get 4 in a day. So I always followed the rule, like she said, where it was 40 grams in one sitting, where your body can't digest it. But Thomas is always on top of like all this, like the new research. Like he's always on the new research, and I like that you do that for me, Thomas. I appreciate it because I'm always looking for like the newest and best thing. And I've never heard of that. Thomas says 31:05 new all-time world record, same as Hawthorne's 1 kilogram deadlift world record of 5:01 in his own gym. Yeah. So when I watched Giants live this year, and they were trying to, obviously they always have the deadlift, and they always put up like extra cash prizes or whatever for that one individual who could break. And they said it this year. I saw it because I was wondering, like, they were talking to Eddie Hall and talking about his lift in 2016, his 11:02 deadlift, and they're not mentioning Hawthorne at all. When I finally found, it was a little box at the bottom, and it said world record 11:02 Eddie Hall, and then they worded it as exhibition record Hawthorne with his 5:01 or 5:01. So they at least
acknowledged it.
They acknowledged it in that manner, where it was like it was world record and exhibition record. So I did see that for the first time ever. Thomas says, yeah, true, Mrs. Cole, but this was in untrained individuals, and now they have used trained individuals and muscle biopsies. Yeah, biopsy, I think. Not, yeah. But it's shown them that
there is longer and higher NPS output production in the body than over long term. The anabolic effect isn't only higher, but also lasts much longer. which kind of makes sense when you think about it. Too much to explain here in 200 letters.
It's fine.
That's cool.
So more protein per sitting is what you're saying. I will absolutely.
Oh darn.
Because if you're heavy, so I'm 330 and I need 1.3 grams at least per pound of body weight to build muscle.
1.3.
Let me guess. It's around between 420 and 450.
429.
429.
That's a lot of protein.
And if you can only take in 40 grams every meal or every couple of hours, like.
So if you divide that by 6, so like 6 meals a day, that's 71 and a half grams of protein per meal.
So that's what it would.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Now, if you're only supposed to take in 40 at a time, you'd have to probably double the number of meals you have per day.
You'd be eating every 2 hours for sure.
From morning to,
for 24 hours straight, like you'd be setting alarms. Yeah.
So no, that makes total sense. Tony says, I missed that memo. I've been having 50 to 60 gram shakes after a workout. I drink slowly usually. I know that when you drink whey or protein, you want to drink it a little bit more slow because it digests better when you do it that way. Yeah, Thomas, if you send it to me on Instagram, I'd really appreciate that. Yeah, 100 gram protein in one sitting versus 4 by 25. 100 grams is much more effective. No shit. That's really helpful. Thank you very much.
For you guys listening, what is your favorite way to get protein in that's not shakes? Like, what's your favorite high protein meal?
Yes, I would much appreciate the
info. It's also not just a 30-ounce slab of red meat.
Need to watch the cholesterol. You know what I mean? Tony says, I keep saying Russell. It says Russell. It's Tony. I try and hit 290 to 300 grams a day of protein. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if it's, from what I understood, if it was 1 gram per pound of body weight for like maintenance, but you need 1.3 for to gain. And that's where that math equation comes in. So that's 429 grams for me. That's a lot. Thomas says, example, why would be the only meat-eating animal that can only digest 25 to 30 grams of protein? That's okay. Good point. Lions would die. Sharks would die off. Everything else that eats meat to survive wouldn't be that big.
Well, they're much bigger than you, too. Like, a shark is way bigger than you. You know?
Yeah.
And also, a lion's bigger than you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But, yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Well, I like it. I'm going to start doing that. Alex says BK Whoppers. Oh, man.
Extra cholesterol.
Yeah. Thank you for hopping on, Alex. But yeah, so it's been a good week. Like I said, the benching was good. Yeah, I know. The benching was good. This week I said it's going to be off, but I need it. And we're 3-4 weeks out from the Arnold. So I got to kind of be a little more, what's that word I'm looking for? I lost my train.
You got to back off a little?
No, I need to. Methodical. I need to be more
smarter.
Methodical, smarter in the next few weeks.
Start listening to your wife.
Yeah. Well, you weren't here.
You haven't listened to me like the last 3 or 4 workout weekends. You've just been trying to do things.
Yeah. Kelly says, I have a wicked sweet tooth. I recently bought the Ninja ice cream maker and make protein ice creams and other desserts. No shit.
I've been looking at those.
Awesome. Ninja ice cream maker. What the fuck?
It's good. You put like a Greek yogurt and protein powder and like stuff in it. Blends it up. You freeze it, and then you blend it again and put toppings in it. It's legitimately like ice cream, but you make it yourself.
Okay. Thomas says male lions go from 330 to 580 pounds. That's from Google. So yeah, they're definitely bigger than me.
Well, I mean, 330.
I'm on the low end.
You're a small lion.
Yeah. Anyway, if we got questions, I will just continue to talk unless we get more questions. So please drop them in. And
should we tell them about we were talking about our Anderson bench meet, and then we were talking about the 1,000-pound bench.
Oh shit, yeah.
That's kind of cool, just to bullshit while people ask for it.
Absolutely. Trevor says peanut butter, bacon, ice cream. Oh my god. I don't think so. No way, dude.
Your grandpa bought peanut butter swirl ice cream when I was up this week.
Yeah.
delicious.
God damn.
Grampy has good taste.
Yeah, he's the ice cream man. Thomas says 200 grams of chicken, thighs possibly marinate, 100 grams of cheese. What? Yee.
Put it in a big wrap.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. I like that. So we have the obviously have the Anderson bench meet, which is at the Arnold this year. Our first Anderson's first like their own competition ever. Yeah, look at that. Sneak peek, because this is kind of, look at that. That's a new design. Sneak peek. Not a lot of people have seen that. So but yeah, so it we have that, and then we were kind of chucking around ideas when I was on the phone, actually driving up to get her today, and she thought, well, it'd be cool to do something like a it'd have to be like non-sanctioned, obviously, but it'd be a 1,000 pounds for reps competition. So you have 3 chances to come up to the bar, and like 3 rounds basically, where you do 1,000 pounds for reps for a combined total number of reps with 1,000 pounds, and that would determine your placing. So kind of bouncing off of the Anderson bench invite at the Arnold, where it's your 3 attempts combined for a total. This is similar, but it's 1,000 pounds 4 reps. It's like each round you can do as many as you can.
And also like baddest bencher-esque, where like all the 1,000-pound benchers get invited and go head to head.
Yep.
I think that'd be fun.
It's a really, really cool idea that I'm very interested in. I think if we hosted it, I should not do it though, because
I'm not saying we're hosting it. I'm saying it would just be fun to do. Yeah. Like that would be really cool, because like seeing somebody bench 1,000 pounds once is cool, but then if you've got 15 guys on there and they're opening with 1,000 and they start doing 2 and 3 and 4 or 5 reps, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I just think that'd be really cool. Add them up at the end and
yeah. All right.
What was your volume for the day? You know?
Yeah. Nate says, any particular strategies you're implementing to get your deadlift big for full power? Just doing it. That was the first step. Mm-hmm. Second step, I have bench arms. I've had to work on my supination. I supinate with my right hand. So if you look at the difference, I'm going to try and be as relaxed as possible. Watch this. Watch this. All right. This is the supinated hand. Watch.
Do you want a bench bar or a deadlift bar?
No, I don't need one. No. Here we go. So watch this. Okay. I'm trying to be as relaxed as possible. Watch. Okay. Okay, both my hands used to be like this. So me just starting to deadlift, putting myself and my joints in this position has been very, very tough, very hard. I just had to start doing it and getting all this tissue in my elbow to be malleable enough to be able to do that, because like I said, both hands used to be stuck like this, and now I can do this.
Which still isn't great.
It's not great, but like that's a huge difference.
You're also not warmed up. You do a lot of stretches.
Yeah, so what I'll do is what I have to do before I even pull, because my elbow would get really fucking sore real quick if I jump right into deadlift, is I'll grab an empty bar and I'll just grab it and I'll just hold it at arm's length. I'll just hold it standing up. That's my stretch to get my hand open before I start deadlifting.
Sometimes use the mace.
Sometimes I'll stretch with the mace. I'll have the mace with the ball on this end. I'll get to a bench. I'll let the mace just open my hand. I'll hold that stretch. I've done that quite a bit. It's been a pain in the ass. Just getting, because deadlifting, and I'm better suited for sumo. I suck at both styles. I don't have a body type that's going to favor either or, but I am better at sumo. I wanted to hook grip sumo because I just like when I like this forearm that's supinated puts the bar is about 3 to 4 inches away from my shins. I'm completely helicoptered like this because my forearm is is thicker than it used to be, and it's pushing the bar away. No matter how much I pull the bar into me, my forearm is preventing the bar from being close to my shins. So anyhow, can I get a glass of water? So that's it. Just doing it, going strapless. That's been a big thing too. my general rule for my development in the deadlift is anytime I'm doing a deadlift variation, whether it be from the floor, block pulls, deficits, rack pulls are different because we do that more for upper back development than anything else. Thank you very much. I got my Sam Squanch mug right there. We got that from Salt Fork.
Yeah.
Right?
In Ohio.
In Ohio. So, anyhow, it's just been a process of doing it and getting used to it and making it a normal thing. Because it's not natural for the body I've built for bench over the last 10 years to then turn around and start deadlifting. And develop and learning how to actually deadlift too, like properly, like using the posterior chain, like the ass and the hips and the hamstrings. I would deadlift in the past, when I was at Blackstone's and Iron Chamber, and we do sumo and conventional and all these things, but I never knew how to actually engage properly with that musculature. That was one of the biggest things too. And working with Chris, he gave me a cue, and we use it all the time. It worked for me. It was prison guard. Squeeze your ass as hard as you can. It just works. That worked for us. And that got me to learn how to, like, what it means to feel engaging with those muscles in the pull. One of the biggest things for me that I actually trained upon that cue, I started doing a lot of belt squat style deadlifts. So I'd set a bar up in the belt squat. We got a Rogue Rhino belt squat. We set a bar up on pins, and I would do rack pulls from the knee or below the knee with the belt on. And in order to lock the weight out, you have to squeeze the shit out of your hips, your ass, your hamstrings. And that was like, oh, that's how you lock out a deadlift. That's how you finish a deadlift. It's not just pull with the back more. It's lower body. So proper engagement with the muscles was huge. Again, the grip. I've got bitch grip. I've not had to worry about grip for 10 years because all I've been doing is benching. So grip's been a big deal. So that's the easiest answer I have for that. It's been one hell of a process, but
a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
Figuring out your setup, and like your body mechanics are so different from people we were looking at, and trying to figure out how they're deadlifting like that. And then when we kind of stopped and started looking at people built like you and seeing what they were doing, it clicked a little bit more.
Chad Ikes helped me a lot with deadlift. Chad Ikes, Amber, Alfredo, AJ Roberts, to name a few of those who I'm not like in person, like people I'm just like texting or calling, really helped. Because Chad was 360 or 80 pounds when he was competing, big boy. And he had, so we've talked a lot. Deadlift is going surprisingly well, which is so strange. It's the squatting that's not going quite to plan right now. Let's see. It's coming along. Kelly says, "Made the switch from single ply to multiply. What differences are between the two? What differences are between the two? Not too much, except the pressure will be different. The gear, you're wearing the gear, it's going to fit on you differently because you have to sacrifice smaller size for the extra layers. So the more layers you have, the bigger the piece has to be that you're wearing. So the pressure is going to be a little bit different. The way you adjust the gear is going to be a little bit different, but overall, nothing's going to change a lot.
Especially if you're going from the same, like talking bench shirts, from the same type of shirts. If you're going from a single ply katana to a multi-ply, like the groove will be the same. Yeah. Now, if you're going from a single ply katana to a triple ply SDP, you might have a whole different ball, a learning curve to go through. But overall, if you got good experience in single ply, I think you'll do just fine in multi-ply. There are differences, but it's not going to be like, night and day differences. Fester, I remember you. You're on here from T County. What's going on, man? Thomas says, using a comprehensive quadruple isotope tracer feeding infusion. Jesus Christ. It's all the research, the protein stuff that he was. Oh. He's just putting like little bits of the. I was like, what kind of device are you talking about here? I also have the live comment replay on, so you can go back and read all these afterwards. Okay. So anybody else that wants this protein information, after the live ends and it loads, you'll be able to go back and read the comments to see all that too.
So with that last part, he says, we show that the ingestion of 100 grams of protein results in a greater and more prolonged anabolic response when compared to the ingestion of 25 grams. We demonstrate a dose response increase in dietary protein delivered plasma amino acid availability and subsequent incorporation into muscle protein. Good grief. Ingestion of a large bolus of protein further increases whole body protein net balance, mixed muscle, it sounds very techy. So I'm just gonna take it as I just need to take in more protein per setting. I think that's what I'm getting out of it. I love it. I got my brain shut down for a second, but that's great. Thank you, Thomas, for the information. Like she said, if anybody wants to go look at all these comments after the show is over and get all this information from Thomas, he's got it all here in the group, the chat here.
If you want to translate it and dumb it down for us.
Yep. Alex says, have you planned out when you're going to put 1,500 pounds in your hands? I have not. I need definitely after March. I got to come up with some kind of wave plan. I might go back to my wave where I was doing different equipment over the period of weeks in wave intervals, building up to it. I don't really know. I'm hoping sometime before the first half of this year. So definitely like between like April, May, June, July, somewhere in there. It's going to require a more robust barbell, I think, which is going to be kind of a project to look into. So not that the F8 bar, Sportcraft bar can't handle it, but
you're pushing it.
I'm having problems with those bars at those loads. So I'm going to need something more.
And like we've talked about using, we also have the F8 squat bar. So we've talked about using that to bench with and seeing how it performs that way. We're just worried about your hands.
Yeah, but it's 35 millimeter squat bar, 65 pounds, not 55 pounds. Could be a route we could go. It's going to be a lot more tipping like this because it's so much longer on the inside of the collar. That's the biggest downfall. Trevor says, "Are you going to WPO?" Not that I'm aware of.
Not to compete. No,
not to compete. We're not going to watch. We were there in 21 in Florida with Anderson, but we're, to my knowledge, not going. So no, we will not be there.
If we have friends and people like close people competing, we might, but
yep,
we never know.
Ooh, Thomas says, protein ingestion has a negligible impact on whole body protein breakdown rates for amino acid oxidation rates. These findings demonstrate that the magnitude and duration of the anabolic response to protein ingestion is not restricted and has previously been underestimated in vivo in humans. I'm not sure what vivo means. And then Thomas says, for anyone who wants the link, I'm sure he might be dropping it. Yeah. Let's see. Dennis says, this past Saturday, I went up to 835 straps down in my Inzer LUP, 50 pounds less than I did full gear at my last comp. Hey, fantastic. Good on you. That's really awesome. I was doing squats this weekend, also straps down in my Boss. The Boss, I actually have laces on that. Thank you to Denise, Rob's mom. She did that for me. So, I don't want to put, not to be weird, I don't want to put all the information out there. I'm keeping kind of under wraps what I'm doing. But if you want to hear everything about all the training, like I said, Patreon. Go to Patreon, which is Kolbstrong on there, and you can see and watch all, not just the bench training, but everything else that I'm doing.
Back days probably get the most.
I get the most comments.
The most weird shit on back days.
Back days and obviously the big heavy bench days. I get the most interaction between those 2 days. Let's see. Thomas, here we go. Yeah, he's dropping the biology adjective. Biology adjective of a process performed or taking place in a living organism in vivo studies in animals. So basically it has been underestimated in human biology thus far. So that is all I need to hear, that I'm going to start taking in more protein per sitting That way I can meet
try,
my
'cause
needs.
you're already like force feeding yourself sometimes to hit what you
Well, so when
are trying to do.
well, no, I'm not even talking really about direct like food. Like I can only eat so much. I know that. I'm saying like when I make these shakes, I'm restricting how many scoops are in each one.
I thought you were just doing that because it's like doesn't fit in your shaker.
Oh no, I mean I could probably drink one and then mix another one and drink that. But like I've only been doing like 40, maybe 60 at most because I was still under the belief, which according to Thomas here is not true, that I can only effectively digest 40 grams in one sitting. But if I can take in 100 grams at once with my shakes, I absolutely will do that so I can meet my protein needs every day. 3 by 100 grams of protein per meal, then Jimmy, or 1 by 100 and 275 for 250 total.
We also don't track your protein intake. Like
the only way I track it, the most effective way that I track it is through my drinks. But for food, it's we never know what we're eating that day, where we're going, if we're eating at home. It's really hard to track. But at least I can track with if I can get a stone's throw, like maybe 3 100-gram shakes a day will put me at 300. I'm sure I could make up that other 120 between all the food,
chicken and
whatever. So that's excellent.
I know every time we mention that like you don't track your food or meal prep or follow a certain plan, we get so much shit for it.
Yeah,
like one guy went off on you.
One guy was so
like pissed,
mad, so disappointed that I eat the way I do, and I'm like,
what did he call you?
He called me lazy. He called me
lazy, and there was something else. He said like disappointed.
This is lazy. This is not a good look.
There was a specific word where I was like, "What the fuck?" Like he was real mad.
He was so distraught
that you don't like meal prep and track and like
I don't have a coach.
Have a nutritionist.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, I eat like a normal human. Yeah. Like I eat in excess.
Yeah.
But I'm not weighing my food. I don't have a scale. I don't have a coach that's telling me what to do, what meal.
Saying like you're like undisciplined.
Yeah. It's
it was a wild.
And I was like, what do you suggest, my wise one? Like, well, it's just disappointing. It's like, bro, you're disappointed that I eat like a normal fucking person.
Yeah.
Now, if I could afford to have, what's that guy, Nathan? Who's the guy that does the nutrition for all the strongmen? Nathan Payton, I think's his name.
Yeah, but he's like
outrageously. He's like $6,000 a year for him.
More than per year.
Yeah. I think it's per year. I looked at his website.
It was like $3,000 a month.
Or $3,000 for 3. It was something crazy.
Something that we cannot afford.
I would love to have that.
And that's just like that doesn't count for buying the food.
You got
and all the prep time and all of that stuff. And
I would love to have that, but we can't.
This works for you.
Yeah, works
I honestly think he was like disappointed that you eat like a normal fucking human, because it was one of those like, oh well, he eats like I do and I'm not at his level. Like
whatever it was,
he was pissed.
He was just so disappointed. How dare I eat the way I do? Anyway, Fester.
So no one else come for us.
Fester 68. You can if you want, no matter. Fester 68 says, "Are you expecting a CNS overload on the 1,500-pound attempt?" Yes, absolutely, because it's been a while since I've even handled in the mid 13s, let alone 14, let alone 1450, let alone 1,500. I've never even handled 1,500. The closest I ever got to that was 1463. So I was 30. Hang on, I was 37 pounds away from 1,500.
And it moved.
It moved good. I didn't touch. I didn't touch the one board. I was like, oh shit! I kind of pushed early, but anytime you do an extra rep with a load, anytime you go above what your CNS is capable of handling or used to handling, you're going to have a CNS overload situation. So yeah, absolutely, it's going to suck. But
you haven't had one in a while.
I had one on Saturday.
This past Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
Why? For your 12 for 6.
The 1221 for 6 got me.
That makes sense. Did you have one when you did the 1,000 for 20?
Yeah.
Did you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, real big. Thomas says, but that means you can also have carb fat meals only, which are easier to digest. Carbs, he says. And with some fats, including carbs, delays the uptake of carbs a bit. So high, longer carb level in blood plasma. This is so out of my league. I always take some kind of dried fruit and nuts as a pre-workout snack. Doesn't leave me hungry as much during training. More appetite after training, and seems like more energy, less fatigue.
So it's
training.
like you eating your Twix beforehand. You got the carbs, you got the fats, you got the sugars.
Right.
And that's all we need to live on.
Yeah. Trevor says, you got me into that mass gainer. Thank you for that. You're welcome. Hope you got some benefit out of it. I was 6'3", 170 pounds for 10 years before that. No shit. Well, great. Glad you got some success out of it. Before I'm gonna wrap the show up just a little bit early tonight because all this protein talk is making me hungry. But I did wanted to showcase just a product here that I got in the mail. Thank you, Anderson Powerlifting. Thank you, Kevin Pittman, for doing that for me. I got myself a new fresh pair of figure 8 lifting straps. I've had my F8 lifting straps for, I think they've lasted,
2 years.
It's been 2 years. It was York in 22. It was York in 22 that I got them from Rob's booth. So they're starting to get chewed up. So I finally got a brand new fresh pair from Anderson Powerlifting. We just came out with these products last year at the Arnold. We
Year before.
Sure, it was the year before.
Yeah, that's when we were on the back wall.
So it was 22.
Mm-hmm.
So in 22, we debuted the brand new figure 8 straps from Anderson Powerlifting right here. They're very, very stiff, very robust. These are actually the small pair because I used a small pair from Rob. So I was like, I'll just use a small pair from Anderson. That's excellent. I love the color. Black, of course, black and white. My Pharrell ones were black and red. So this is a nice change up for me. I like the color scheme. So there you go. Again, we got figure 8 straps from Anderson Powerlifting. If you want something similar to this, you can use Kolbstrong for a 10% discount.
And they ship real fast.
As long as you have, or as long as they have what you need in stock, Anderson will have your equipment to you in days. Not weeks, not months, days. If they have it in stock, you will have it in days and at a discounted price with Kolbstrong. Trevor is 220 now, so he gained quite a bit of weight from that. That's excellent. No shit. Good. Yeah. Dennis says 2 of my training partners just got triple ply F8 shirts. Cool, man. Do they get them from Rob or do they get them from Anderson Powerlifting? That's excellent. Good deal. The triple plies are really popular. Mm-hmm. The triple plies fly off of our shelves super, super quick. Can't keep them in stock. Reason. Yeah, really good reason. The triple plied size 53. I don't know what it is about everybody. Everybody wants the 53 triple ply. That's the size that we cannot keep on the shelves. I don't know why. Thomas says, I believe I've heard some people say a 2-ply F8 Widowmaker can also be turned into a 1-ply. That is correct. Then how do I decide that size to get to fit in both ply, and how much easier is a Widowmaker to learn and touch in compared to a supercharged RAM? So it's a more simple construction. So the supercharged RAM is a flat panel with arm cuffs sewed onto the end. So it's actually like 3 pieces, at a minimum, 3 pieces. So it's a little more complicated, but it lays flat the whole time, mimics a shirt a little bit more. The Widowmakers are wraps that are just sewn into a loop and then sewn down the middle. So you have 2 arm cuffs with a sewn in the middle. So it's a more simple construction. I like that more.
Stronger chest plate,
more carryover. I think I'll say, I went back to a supercharged RAM like a year ago after switching to the F8 Widowmakers, and the supercharged RAM for me was much harder to get the hang of. So if you can do a supercharged RAM effectively, Thomas, you'll have no problem in an F8 Widowmaker. Now, size-wise, that's kind of hard because if you go with like a single loop, you could, let's say your single loop size is a large. And that allows you to touch, that allows you to, be successful with it. If you go with a large 2-loop Widowmaker, that's going to be way too small. Because what you do is you tuck the inner layer, the inner loop. You have the 2 loops. You take the inner loop. I actually fold mine. My buddy Andrew just slides his arm in and doesn't fuck with. I actually take the inner loop and I'll fold it in so it's out of the way completely. You have to keep in mind that when you use 2 loops, I'd say like anything else, if you use a single ply Widowmaker, that's a large. If you want a double, I would just go up. I would just go to an extra
One
large,
size, yeah.
you know, because I can effectively use, we have a medium single loop Widowmaker that I can use. But the smallest size double loop that I can use is actually an XL. That's the difference. Now, the medium is like this on me, but I can make it work because it's one single loop. I tried using a large double, and I can't. It's not going to work. So you do have to accommodate for the size. Dennis says both got them through Rob, but one of them just briefs in a suit through Anderson. Excellent. Good deal. I like it. Good deal, man. Yeah, Rob takes care of his people too. Really glad we know Rob, Tiff, and Denise. Mm-hmm. And of course my boy Logan, but he's in Cincinnati now, or Columbus. Yeah, Thomas says I'm mostly between 210, 220. So that would be XL 2-ply. But
I think that Anderson has the sizing chart on there.
He's looking. He said, yeah, because he's giving me the weight classes too. Yeah. So XL 2-ply, but an XL 1-ply would be 242. Yeah. So if you went with a 1-ply, I would go to a large. Again, if your 2-ply is an XL, you want a single, go down. Because you put those two loops on, you're going to be surprised how taut it really is. Let's see. The X748 says, what is the trick putting on the F8? The collar digs into my neck. That is the trick. Same thing happened to me. If you have poly bench experience, or even loop, if you have denim bench experience, you cannot wear them the same manner. You can't adjust them the same manner. You can't put the shirt on and then have your guy pull your neck down and expect it to stay. It's not going to work. You have to put the shirt on as one unit. Okay, so take the shirt completely off. The shirt's off of you. The Velcro's undone. Okay. I just grab the outside of the sleeves. I'm not in the shirt. I'm just holding onto it on the outside. And I will place it on my body where I want. I'll take a visual note. Okay, let's see. This is a little heavier. I'm going to move it down and make sure I remember where I have it. Okay, that's good. Then, while holding it here, they will Velcro it on me, still holding it, and then put my belt on and cinch the belt down. And I'll lay the shirt down. And then from this lower position, I can get into it, and it's already set super low. You can't put it on high and then have somebody pull it down. It won't work. It will not work that way. You have to take the shirt completely off. This is what I do. Take the shirt completely off. Each time you want to adjust it, grab it, physically move it where you want it, and have your team Velcro it on, belt it on, and then get into it in that lower position. You have to do that every single time. We actually made a video on this showing it all with the shirt in the gym. So I just dropped the link for that video. Oh, thank you. In the chat. So you guys can check that out. There you go. Very, very good. Thank you very much. Okay. Tom says, but a large 2-ply caps at 198, but a 1-ply to 220. Yes. Again, the large 2-ply caps at one. I would just trust that it depends on what you want, Thomas. If you want the 2-ply, just follow the chart. Yeah. I think the XL2 sounds to me like your one of choice. So it's hard to know from on here, but so anyway, and it says thanks. Cool. So yeah, that's gonna be it for tonight, folks. Brad. I don't know if you read it. Who? Brad. Yeah. After years of raw lifting, I've started playing with the double F8 Widowmaker. It's wild. It's fun. It rejuvenates it. It's a whole different sport, basically. It's a whole different rabbit hole you can go down. You know, there's raw, there's equipped. I chose my path almost 16 years ago. And I've been very, very happy with it. So Good. If anybody has any questions or anything more intricate questions, if you want me to look at videos, review things for you,
just comment after the video. Yeah.
Obviously, comment after the video, or like I was going to say, reach out to me on Instagram, Kolbstrong on Instagram. You can DM me as long as you're not being a weirdo. DM me. You can send videos if you want me to look at things. You say, hey, what's wrong with this? Hey, what happened here? I can give you some advice, things like that. So again, KOLBSTORONG is my Instagram handle. That is also my discount code at andersonpowerlifting.com for 10% off anything in the store except for the F8 Sportcraft bench bar that does not work on the barbell. Just make sure you know that. We also have the Kolbstrong Scholarship. We raised $4,000 through generous donation this year, 2023. So the month of January, from the 1st to the 31st, we are accepting the application. So go to kolbstrongscholarship.com, fill out the application, go through that process, get it in before the 31st. If you have anybody between the ages of 13 and 23, the teenage and junior divisions of powerlifting, they are eligible as long as they are a competitive powerlifter, done at least one meet, and they are between 13 and 23. They can apply. So go to kolbstrongscholarship.com, fill out the application. You have 10 days, 11 days left.
Next Wednesday, yeah.
Okay, next Wednesday is the last day to get those in. And then after we get all the applications in, myself, Katie, and about 2 or 3 others will read all the applications, figure out which ones need it the most. So we raised $4,000. That's 4 athletes we're sponsoring this year. We raised 3 the first year, 12 the second year. We got 4 this past year.
And our application program that we use, when the due date is up, it shuts it off. So get them in by the 31st. Every year we always have people wanting to message on the 1st or 2nd of February.
Yep.
It's already closed. We talk about it all year. You have the whole month to apply.
Yep.
You have to do it in that window. We're not making exceptions.
And we don't make exceptions. Because as soon as we start making exceptions, we have to make exceptions for everybody all the time.
Yeah.
We don't do that. We're not going to deviate. 1st to the 31st, go to Kolbstrong Scholarship, follow the directions. There's an application, whole process. It's all laid out for you. Follow it. Get them in. We also do not accept anybody under the age of 13. We've had questions about that all the time. Hey, my son or daughter is 11 or 12.
Yeah,
it's
or over the age of 23.
It's sorry. No, it is 13, 23. It's for the young crowd. But I'm not deviating. If your son is 12 and a half.
You can wait till next year.
It's got to be 13 because, like I said, if I start deviating for one person or this or that, making exceptions, then it's just going to become messy, and I don't want to do that. So, again, we raised $4,000. That's 4 athletes. We started cutting checks probably about the end of February, beginning of March. We got to go through every application and collectively between 5 people choose the ones that need it the most. So that should about do it for tonight. I mentioned Patreon a couple of times before. If you want to see what I do behind the scenes that lead me to all the big benches, patreon.com. You can find me on Kolbstrong on there. You can watch all my training, every set of every movement that I do in the gym, full power, bench only, back training, you name it. It's on there with full commentary over top of it. That's 5 workouts per week. If you don't want to go on Patreon and do that, YouTube members, same thing, same price, $10 a month. So with that, it's been an hour, 2 minutes, 54 seconds. I will end it here. Please have a good rest of your night. We'll see you next week for Benching and Bullshitting. This has been episode 63. We'll see you 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Wednesday. All right.
Guys.
Take care.
Good one.